WWE is planning to have a huge 2025, and there's one big secret weapon that they could use to make it a year to remember. That, of course, is the 16-time champion John Cena. Cena is preparing for his final year as a WWE superstar.
2025 Royal Rumble will be my last. Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania 2025 will be the last WrestleMania I compete in.
I'm excited for Chamber because I'm planning to go there. That's a lot of fun. Now, I do think that Cena will be utilized as like a plan B, as a secret weapon for WWE going into the new year because of the question mark, the big question mark of the final boss, The Rock, and whether he's going to be involved at Mania or not. The final boss seems to do what he wants when he wants.
Off is a direction you can
As of right now, we don't know if The Rock is going to be at Mania 41. And I do think that WWE is putting a lot of different pieces in place to have different workarounds in case he doesn't show up. WWE is always going to rely on big names and big legends to be able to help with their show of shows. One of those pieces would be Dr. Thugonomics himself. There are multiple ways that WWE can utilize Cena over the course of 2025. One of them would be him entering in the Royal Rumble and winning the 2025 Royal Rumble. But if he did win the Rumble, what direction do you think WWE would take with John Cena? Could he challenge for the world title? Would he challenge for the world title to go up against Gunther, assuming Gunther would still be champion at that point? And if that's the case, is that the right match for someone like John Cena, and for that matter for Gunther as well? Is that something you would want to see? For me, I'd be kind of torn because I think that they could tell a very interesting story, and let's be honest, it would really be about, for Cena anyways, it would be about breaking that record, trying to get that other title, that 17 world title win. And for Gunther, it would be about proving that he is dominant, biggest champion ever. But I do think that when it comes to Gunther, especially right now, they need to heat him back up and make him dominant once again, because it's something that they haven't done for a little while. They've been giving him this crisis of confidence storyline where he can kind of like squeak out some wins. And in the last showing that we had at Saturday Night's Main Event, Gunther did look dominant once again. So if they want to do Gunther versus Cena, it would totally work. However, I don't see that match being a night 1 or night 2 main event of WrestleMania. Just for whatever reason, it just doesn't feel like it. Don't get me wrong, it could. Nowadays with WrestleMania, they can have world title matches, open the show, and they're amazing. So whether they open or close, I don't think like Cena, for example, really cares all that much. But for that 17th world title win, WWE title win for Cena, potentially on the line, I kind of want to see that as a main event, especially when you go and you win the Royal Rumble. Like, they keep getting away from this from time to time, don't they? Where you don't win the Rumble and main event WrestleMania, now that it's night 2, it doesn't guarantee the main event spot. So unless it was booked extremely well from the Rumble to Mania, I just don't see that as the matchup. Also, there's other factors in there. We have CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, all possible contenders for that world title. And additionally, as of right now, the rumors, the innuendo, speculation everywhere is that CM Punk is kind of in the lead for one of those main event spots for night 1 or night 2. Could be Gunther and Punk, it could be Seth and Punk, it could be Punk and Roman. Like, there's so many different options if that's the case. But then that would be like one of the main event spots just spoken for at this point. And also, CM Punk is the one that pointed at the WrestleMania sign so very early on, so you gotta figure he's going. So what if WWE's plan for John Cena isn't happening on Raw? What if they go in a different direction? And what if John Cena sets his sights on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and his undisputed championship? Rhodes is right now in the middle of his whole story feud with Kevin Owens over who is the true WWE champion. And right now for me, it's Kevin Owens. He's got the Winged Eagle title, way more entertaining. I do want him to win that whole thing. And right now, I really love this story with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. It's finally a story that I'm into with Cody. No knock against him, really. It's just that creatively, he hasn't been in anything where I felt like the title's in jeopardy. And this is the first time where they've got several months of build and a backstory and all these different elements between Kevin Owens and Cody that I'm really, really invested in. And it was also made official that at the Royal Rumble, we are going to see Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match for both belts. Both belts will be hung above and they will climb and they will grab both to be true undisputed real world champion. And as much as I want Kevin Owens to win that ladder match and coming down with all the belts, and then he chucks the yellow mustard title and he just keeps the winged eagle permanently. I don't see it happening. I think Cody will retain at the Royal Rumble. So assuming that Cody retains at the Rumble, his path to WrestleMania is very clear, but his opponent is not. Enter the 16-time world champion John Cena. If Cena does win the Royal Rumble, would it disappoint fans in your eyes? Do you think that that would be a bad move? Or do you think people will be upset by it? Because again, there are so many contenders out there, and this is all assuming that The Rock is not going to be there. But what's really cool if Cena wins is that he can try and tell his story. He can try to finish his story, breaking the Ric Flair record. And I honestly feel like if it's at WrestleMania or it's at another PLE like SummerSlam, for example, which is going to be 2 nights as well, I think that they need to, before the year is up, before the time is up, the time is now, Cena needs to break that record. It's an amazing story, and I think WWE wants to be able to have Cena kind of as that poster boy, as they always have for so long, but of the modern era. They had Roman Reigns become the longest reign champion of the modern era. I think they would want to do that with someone like Cena. Do I think Cena cares about breaking the Ric Flair record? Probably not. I think WWE likes it. I think it's a great PR thing. And you know what? It would even then just, you have him break the record, and then he goes out and he's got all the PR stuff and he's doing all the shows and the movies, and he carries around his own John Cena custom spinner belt. They always do. So give him one of those. But I digress. But to me, the story of Cody Rhodes versus John Cena feels very much like stories we've seen in the past, where we got Hogan versus Rock at WrestleMania 18, where we got Rock versus Cena. Could be a passing of the torch, but it's an epic encounter. It's that big blockbuster type of matchup, and it would be huge for either a night 1 or night 2 main event. And again, this is all hinging on the fact of whether or not The Rock is there, Final Boss shows up or not. But I do have concerns as a fan of the build and leading up to this potential match. One of those things would be the promos, and that would tie into a lot of this because Cena versus Cody, they're not going to wrestle before WrestleMania. Maybe they would get into like a tag team match together and be side by side to take on whoever, Bloodline once again, you never know, but they would do something maybe like that, then to have their true one-on-one match at Mania. The thing that I'm concerned about is that Cena could give Cody cry face. It's one of John Cena's secret weapons. We're talking about the secret weapon being John Cena, and within that, one of his tools that he has in his belt there is going to be just destroying people on the microphone. Now, I don't think Cena would do that intentionally to Cody Rhodes, but it is a possibility. The big thing is that Cena could outshine Cody. Cody is the top guy. He is WWE's main marketing face, Make-A-Wish guy. He is all things WWE, and the fans love him, and he's doing a great job, like in my opinion, of being the poster boy for WWE. But for that feud and that build, I would worry that John Cena would come out ahead of Cody, and the fans would almost turn slightly on Cody Rhodes. Cody having the whole year-long title reign that has been arguably a little lukewarm, and if Cena gets on the mic and starts cutting really good promos on Cody, and Cody does his standard Shakespearean shtick, giving us this extremely wordy promo against John Cena, Cena could come out ahead and fans could be cheering him way more. And the other factor is that fans love to see titles being broken, records being broken. They love a good record-breaking story. So when you have two faces going at it, the fans ultimately have to kind of pick sides here. And sure, there's always going to be the Cody fans and there's always going to be the Cena fans. But for fans in like that arena and the chatter online, I personally think that in that scenario, fans are going to start leaning towards Cena way more because they want to see him break the record. Cena is over now whenever he comes back. They don't boo him. And they would just be way more hyped, I think, just to see him win the title at WrestleMania, having this really cool big moment. But would WWE pull the trigger on a win for John Cena, and specifically at WrestleMania against Cody? Because I do think you have that risk in there of one guy outshining the other. Fans are torn between who they cheer for. And do you have Cody at the end of the night raise the hand of John Cena to end night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania? And if Cena wins, if Cena were to win the title at WrestleMania, what happens next? That's always what's interesting to me, is what do you do after? Cena can go and he's got the remainder of his year essentially to defend a title. By all accounts and reports out there, John Cena is coming back for what is like a full-time schedule with WWE. And so we wouldn't be in a scenario with John where it'd be like Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, where he's only defending the title at major PLEs 3 or 4 times and that's it. We would get John Cena on TV weekly and defending the title very consistently, maybe even at all of the major PLEs. And what's really cool is that Cena would have broken the record. And now it's just enjoying it and seeing what feuds you could get out of it with him holding the belt, putting his retirement on the line as well, rekindling old feuds. But you can do a lot with John Cena with the belt and have people chase him. You could do Cena versus Punk at like Money in the Bank in 2025. Redo that entire match. And do it one more time. You can get Randy Orton versus John Cena with the belt on the line. But I look at something like SummerSlam being a 2-night thing, and if you have John Cena on the poster holding the WWE Championship and his opponent is Roman, Punk, Drew McIntyre, or Cody Rhodes trying to get that title back, I feel that there's a lot of options they can go with in terms of story and direction all around Cena as the title holder. But a big piece too is that if Cena wins, Cody's story, I think, becomes very interesting and way more interesting than what he had in 2024. Cody could go away for a bit in my eyes after losing the title to John Cena. You can't have so many overtop babyfaces in there. And frankly, Cody's been doing a ton since he came back to WWE. It's a long grind. He's been going pretty hard this whole time. Give the man a little bit of a vacation. Let John Cena hold the flag and hold the belt literally for a couple of months. And let fans miss Cody. Let us miss him so that when he does come back, he comes back in an even bigger way. And it's kind of a better story in my eyes that, well, typically when the babyface is chasing for the belt and they have to climb from underneath and rally, that's always a way more interesting story. And I think that's one of the most compelling pieces of Cody's story when we were all going through it, is seeing him overcome the odds. He lost at Mania against Roman and then he finally won it. And he had all the odds stacked against him and he came out on top. Those are great stories and it's a great way to use Cody again, but you could go in a new direction as well and you could hint and tease heel turn or at least a change and shift in character ever so slightly with Cody after he drops the belt. And you could give him stories upon his return that are not involving the title necessarily. And maybe he would just get it back before WrestleMania 42. But Cena as champion, I think, can really work. And I think that they could do a number of different feuds that would please the fans and give everybody this final year of not only nostalgia, but really cool matchups and really fun stories. However, what do we do if The Rock does show up? So click this video right here. Let's talk more about it. Have a great day. See ya.